since we can see your
That's all I
plums.
got. The best
Hey.
I could do. I'm having major problems. All right.
That's what I've been hearing since the beginning of Fat Fish. The best you can do. Welcome to Fat Fish. I'm Brad Grunny Grunberg, aka Snacks, and that is the man himself, Eric Fish Snyder. What's
Little
up?
incognito today. A little bit. We got some problems with the internet here in Las Vegas. So I'm moving around.
No. Tell me no. I never heard that before. Why don't you put the bunny ears on your fucking head, you asshole?
I can't. I'm in a weird Wi-Fi thing. It's almost like a poltergeist. But you see a silhouette of me, and that's better than looking at Brad with the full screen of lights. So that's the best thing. Hey, I was so excited. First of all, how are you?
I've had a great weekend.
You did. I'm going to show you why. I got a great picture here of a young man that when you talk about your family and your love for your family, it's invigorating. And your dad Jerry just celebrated his 91st birthday. Take a look at this pic of Jerry. Look at the cake. Tell me Brad can't wait to get a piece of that. Look at that picture.
There he is, 91. By the way, a little backstory. My brother's best friend, family friend, my dad calls him his third son, J.J. Abrams, made that hat up for my dad. He made up a 90-year-old hat and made the 91st. Oh. And J.J. Abrams is the sweetest, nicest guy, so humble, great family guy. But he has been my brother's best friend since they were 5 years old. They met in kindergarten. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Is J.J. Abrams talented? Has he done anything in the entertainment business? Can you refresh us of what he's done?
J.J. Abrams has done so much great stuff. He started with Felicity, then he went to Lost and Alias. He rebooted Star Trek. He rebooted Mission Impossible. He rebooted this little movie called Star Wars. You might have heard of it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no. But JJ is really good to my brother, good to me, good to everybody. I mean, he helps. You know what I like about people? They do charitable work. They do good stuff for people. They don't say anything. They say nothing. And they don't want anything to get out because it's between them and the person. I subscribe to that in my life. I try to do nice things, help people, but I don't need the fanfare, So
you're humble. That's what I like about you.
This fucking podcast. Well, this is the fucking charity work here. Jesus.
Yeah.
A big star. What am I doing on this Fakakta show? What am I doing?
They said, Brad says, how can we monetize this thing? I said, what do you care? All you care about is free food. So
give me a fucking buffet.
Hey, Brad, we could pay you $5,000 a week or you get unlimited Chick-fil-A for the rest of your life. What do you think he's going to take?
Don't say those magic words. Don't say Chick-fil-A again.
With that pickle. Oh, God, it's so good. I hadn't had a Chick-fil-A until recently. And they opened one up right around Chuck's Tavern. And oh, my God. The line that the drive-through is incredible. It's like, why is it so deep? And I tried it and I said, wow. I mean, look, and then we could make a chicken sandwich, which they specialize in. But the way they do it, their sauce and their pickle, I don't want to get you going. This is going to give you an erection. You got to get a show going.
I'm popping a chubby right now.
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't have a picture of Chick-fil-A with red buttons and Joe Franklin and Wally George in the back of you right
Wally George. Don Knotts.
Yeah, because you know what you're not? You're not the incredible Mr. Limpet when you're thinking about Chick-fil-A. But I will tell you this. Your dad, give me a great story about Jerry Grunberg in inspiring you to do what you told a story on a previous podcast. You said, he wanted you went to the University of Arizona. You got a degree and then and you wanted to get into acting. Give me the inspirational story that Jerry said that made you say, okay, you know what? I'm going to continue doing this career.
Well, to be honest, my parents weren't too happy about me being an actor. I got a job. I went to the job placement program. I don't know if they have them anymore in college. And I got a job with Xerox. And I was supposed to start in Irvine, California on Monday. And for the training for 2 weeks, and I was going to sell copy machines. I don't think Xerox is around anymore.
No,
they sold copy machines. But on Thursday, I told my grandma, who was my best friend, and my parents I wanted to be an actor because I was in Revenge of the Nerds in college, and I got my SAG card. And I said, man, I love making people laugh. Well, they weren't too happy. But in the end, my dad taught me something. he's taught me so many things. One, you go to college and you will forget about your atmospheric science class, but college will you will retain 1% of what you learn in college. And what that 1% is to live your life. And college helped me live my life. It taught me how to be a man, and it taught me how to, when I have a problem, my dad always said, cut it up into pieces and solve each problem and each piece one at a time. And just so many things I live by because of my dad. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Like if you have a problem with somebody, tell them how you really feel, and then move on. And my dad's he's 91. I've been taking care of him for 10 years, or maybe he's been taking care of me. And I tell you, we had a great weekend. I celebrated on his birthday, July 1, with him and my mom, and got him the food he wanted. I went to Krispy Kreme donuts. He likes Krispy Kreme donuts. I got him that. And it was a great day. And then we went yesterday to my brother's, and the whole family was there, and we laughed and giggled, and it was so much fun. And to have a great family, I'm the luckiest, most grateful guy in the world. And
you are.
He's 91 and he's going strong. So thank God.
And I know many of your family members and talked to them, and you're all
they've told me a lot about you too. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
and by the way,
this is your way of giving back. This is your paying it forward. Carry the fish, because let's face it, Brad, if you didn't carry me, you try and eat me. That's the way you are. So, I look at it this way, and we'll talk about my stepdad, but what you learn from your parents, you take the good from it, and you learn, I didn't like the way they handled that situation. When you get older and you have wisdom in your life, I think, and I'm a parent, I didn't like the way you handled that. I'll handle it differently. But I think of the wisdom. And tomorrow, July 4th, two great men's birthday. My stepdad, I call him Pops. I have a dad that I love, Marvin. I let my dad, Marvin, I let one of my girlfriends back in 1983. Boy. Should I say it?
Well, it's up to you. It's an epic story. Epic.
I let my dad, Marvin, have his way with one of my girls I was dating back in 1983 when I was renting a beach house. That's complete bowing down to the king. All right. My stepdad, Neil, turns 89 tomorrow on July 4th. He shares a birthday with Al Davis. I'm a Raider fan. Look at the background. So if you have a July 4th birthday, it means what? The independence of this country. But Neil taught me a lot. He taught me, this guy was at ABC, American Broadcasting Company, for 35 years as a cameraman and technical director. So I was around the business. He always encouraged me to get into acting and do this because I'm a good looking guy and I'm humble. But I never was interested in that, because then Brad would never get a job, or his brother. So, but you learn from your parents. And speaking of July 4th, to segue into it, we have a lot of problems in this country. We're very divided, and we stay away from politics on Fat Fish. But with these recent Supreme Court hearings, I don't want to get involved, because we have a lot of listeners and viewers that believe in what they did and a lot that don't. I will say this. What July 4th commemorates is the fact that Brad Grunberg, one of my very dear friends, he's a brother to me, and this idiot, Eric the Fish Schneider, we have the capacity to spew and bullshit on a podcast. We're in 28 countries on this planet. 28. You got to watch what you say. You got to watch what you wear. Or if someone's knocking on your door, and there's no more Chick-fil-A for Brad Grunberg for the rest of his life. So, that's what this holiday means to me. Besides the fact we're going to grill. Oh, Brad, you got to come over to the house tomorrow. I'm barbecuing cowboy burgers, hot dogs. Vicky's making an American cake with the frosting and the blueberries on top. We're having a shrimp salad, 2 kinds of coleslaw, 2 kinds of potato salad.
Wait. How many people are going to be at this shindig?
9.
That means there's enough food for me, a little care package sending my way, sir.
Absolutely. But I don't know what July 4th means to you.
Yeah, we have the holiday. Before we talk about that stuff, could you stand up and show everybody that fantastic fucking Hawaiian shirt? Oh, my. Look at that. Yes, baby. Yeah. Oh, my. How old is that? Where did you get that? That is fantastic. Where did you?
You used to have a shirt like this, and then Jerry got a job. I got this. You're gonna laugh your ass off. I got this at Target.
Wow.
And I get more compliments when I wear it. I forgot, man. I got this. We were having a Hawaiian night at one of the bars I was working at. And I said, I'll try Target. They had like 18, 19 Hawaiian shirts, like $11.
Target. It's Target to people like me.
Yeah, when California is Target. I'll tell you what. I was in LA recently, and I didn't bring the right clothing. So there's a Target on Sepulveda between Burbank and Oxnard. It's 3 stories. Wonderful collection of clothing that you never know. I buy shirts there. I wear it. Hey, I go to one, Fish, where'd you get that shirt? And I tell them, nah, you must have gone somewhere else. Did you go to Hugo Boss, or did you go to one of those other stores? No. Folks, you could shop and wear very good attire at Target. Now, Target, can you please sponsor this podcast so I got to stop carrying
that
this
would be fantastic. Oh, Target, man, greatest store. Anything you want, you can find there. And also another great store, Costco, Kirkland, man. I wear all Kirkland clothes, I mean,
great stuff.
Good stuff. Yeah. I mean,
you remember before Costco, remember how excited we got when the Price Club opened up? There was a place called the Price Club.
Yes.
And then Costco and Sam's Club. And then you got, now Walgreens sells birthday cakes. I mean, come on, and they're cheap and they're good. So
let me ask you, who does the shopping in the family, Vicky or you?
Oh, Vicky's got a great taste for attire. Extremely well. Oh, phenomenal. When I met her, she was a manager. When I met her when I was at Mom's, and I met her, she was a general manager of a store called Champs in Westwood. Remember Champs?
Of course. Oh my goodness. So, that's where you could get all the UCLA swag, right?
Oh, but they had the coolest shirts. They had the great pullovers. They had hoodies before they were hoodies, and so she's got a great. Look, I lucked out too. We talk about being blessed with family. The fact that she put up with me for 34 years, the Congressional Medal of Honor. Yeah,
we're still trying to figure that out. Yeah, we're saying, Vicky.
Hey, talk to me, because you have the inside scoop. We're gonna do a little sports here before we get into some other stuff. We do, Brad. I go to Brad for anything NBA, National Basketball Association, which right now they're going through their hot stove league. You're seeing guys moving left and right. You saw Bradley Beal going to Phoenix. Now they're talking about Dame Lillard going to either Miami or Phoenix. I want to see my Lakers do something. Your team got Chris Paul, the Golden State Warriors. But there was an incident that happened with Golden State right when the season started in October, November between Jordan Poole and Draymond Green. Give me the scoop.
Yeah, in practice, they were, chopping it up, but they just came out because people remember, they don't allow cell phones in practice because what happens in practice stays in practice. But somebody had a cell phone and they were filming what was going on the court, and Jordan Poole and Draymond Green were giving each other some shit. And I have here, let me read it. I want to quote. So Jordan Poole tells Draymond Green, and I quote, "I fucked more bitches at Michigan State than you did." Wow. Okay. Now remember, Jordan Poole is just signing this huge contract, and Draymond Green is in the last year of his contract. So then he says, "Don't worry about it, bro. You'll be in Sacramento next year." Okay. Now, listen, Draymond Green is not all there. He's, remember Francis and Stripes? Remember?
Yeah.
Anybody who calls me Francis, I'll kill you. There's a little of that, a little of Francis in Draymond Green. And at the end, he said something to the effect of, listen, get the fuck away from me. And he pushed Draymond Green, and Draymond Green, with one right cross, right to his jaw, dropped him. And that changed the course of the season for the team. And that was one of the reasons they got rid of Jordan Poole. And I'll tell you something, Draymond Green got the last laugh. Because, the bottom line is, Jordan Poole, you don't talk shit to a guy who has 5 rings. And you're a great player, Jordan, but Draymond Green is the fucking man. He is a defensive god. And it's the chemistry in the team. So Steve Kerr said we needed, and I'll quote again, Steve Kerr, my buddy, said we need a shift, not an overhaul. And they made a shift. They brought in Chris Paul. And I'll tell you something. Chris Paul might be 37, 38 years old, but he plays like he's 30, like he's late 20s. He is in shape, and you give him the ball, he's going to score. I mean, he makes everybody better. And that's
he's a Jimmy Garoppolo, though. He's a great player that can't stay healthy. That's a problem. Chris Paul gets injured every year in the playoffs, and Phoenix could have used him last year. What's your take? You and I trash talk each other. You got a great sense of humor.
No, I don't. I love you.
And it's
I
all
love you
fun.
like
But there's a lot of guys. Jalen Ramsey, who now plays at Miami Dolphins, was a Ram cornerback, all-pro defensive back, probably going to go to the Hall of Fame. Tremendous trash talker, but he can't. I hate the guys that give it but can't take it. You know, don't trash talk if you can't take it. You're going to get violent over it. I mean, that just shows how immature and stupid you are. You agree?
Well, in the comedy world, I'm a big Letterman fan, Johnny Carson, all these. I wasn't the biggest Leno fan. You know why? Because Leno would dish it out and he couldn't take it. Like Don Rickles would come on the Tonight Show and he would just tear. I mean, he would tear Leno up, and Leno was always like embarrassed. His face would get red. Jay, take it, man. Take it. You're dishing it out. You got to be able to take it. And that's me. You and I, we go back and forth, man. I don't give a fuck what you say about me. I know you love me. Don Rickles said to me personally, face to face, he said, if you goof on your friends, your family, whoever, you love them. But if you say nothing to a person, you want nothing to do with them. That's life. You got to be able to fucking take it, man. It's a fucking joke. You love the person. That's why I love you, man.
Well,
what's your name again?
We could spoon each other all day, but people say, Fish, you've been doing podcasts now for 2 years, and you have this great chemistry with Grunny. And I said, well, we've known each other a long time, and we just seem to hit. We have a lot of things in common. And you know what? The bottom line is we're trying to monetize a business that has 4 million podcasts. But I have so much fun doing this. It's such a stress release for me. It's so great therapy. I don't give a shit what you say about me. I know I'm good looking. I know I wear glasses that look like, you know.
Why don't you tell our viewers and our listeners this thing about your ass? Now you're 62. Do you still have a great ass? I mean, you show me a picture of your ass, you know, at Mom's Saloon.
That was 1983.
Yeah, but you keep telling me you have a great ass. I mean, is it hard?
I do tushy tucks where you stand. This is a tushy tuck.
Yeah, show me a tushy tuck.
Well, can you see it? Let me go down.
No, go farther towards the Raider Nation there. There we go. Oh, perfect. Okay, go.
You take this is when you stand. Yeah. Do this. You do the rep. So you get the contour of the butt, and the whole butt cheek goes up and down. You feel the nice pull in there. That's a tushy tuck. I do 1,000 of those probably a day. I'll stand behind the bar at Chuck's and just start doing tushy tucks. They're not customers. Don't think I have OCD or some kind of Tourette's syndrome. What's this guy doing? I'm proud of my ass. You know, I'm an ass man. I could be an ass, and I have an ass, and you know, it works.
I like it.
You know what? I might embarrass you right now, but you know, I looked at people in your family and the transformation that they've had physically is phenomenal. We got to work on your ass. You got the face, you got the James Gandolfini look, but let's face it, your ass has its own zip code. You know. You have an ID for your ass. Oh, by the way, this is Brad Grunberg, whatever, 1961, and this is my ass, you know. And we'll work on it.
I think so you're an ass man. So what you're saying is you're happily married, but when you look at a woman or a guy, you look at their ass first?
No. Well, you know, it's funny. I always thought this. Whenever I meet a guy, all right, it's fist pump, shake hands, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? I've noticed this in the bar business. Whenever a woman meets a woman, this is the first thing they do. They check them up and down. It's so, I mean, because women are in such competition. Guys don't care. I don't care what a guy. I don't look at a guy's ass. I don't look at, you know. Now, when we had a Chippendales night at Mom's Saloon, I'll get some pics of that. We had an ass competition, and I beat this guy out named Tom Fransman, who was a dancer, and you know, so we got into it. But as far as I never looked at a guy. I never looked at anybody and say, what do you look like? I don't care. How many times have you met a woman that is drop dead gorgeous and they're the biggest, you know what, bitches on the planet? And same with girls meeting guys. The guy's gorgeous, but he opens his mouth and, you know, so that's why you get women. That's why you get women. I mean, the kind of women Brad gets, I've been to Brad. If you walk into Canner's, famous Canner's Deli on Fairfax, and every waitress there or server is 108 years old, Brad's dated most of them, okay? Because they forget what he looks like in the morning.
They're good friends. They're just good friends, Fish.
Dude,
No,
how
buddy.
many times have you catered a Grunberg family dinner with women you slept with in delis with potato latkes and salamis and corned beef and Canada lock and knishes, and they have no, Brad, where'd you get all this food from? Her
I
name
have a
was
great
Sophie.
line. I have a
What?
great line. I want to tell you my great line. So, there's a guy, I'm talking to him and his girl's so fucking hot, right? So I look at the girl, I go, why fish? I mean, and then I go, fish, you must have a huge fucking Johnson because listen, Susie, you're not with fish for his fucking personality, right? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. It's personality because I worked in a strip club for 15 years. I know one thing. After the looks and the great abs and the body and the big tits and the ass, you better have fucking some game behind it because guess what? That doesn't last very long. Looks don't last very long, right? I'd rather be Fat Freddy over here, right here. And I got game, man. I got game. I'm not the most gorgeous guy in the world like you, and I have an ass like
I'm
you.
not the most gorgeous guy.
Right?
Hey, we talk about looks and everything. I totally agree with you. It's all about personality. It's all about set. It's all about. Go ahead.
We've talked about this. You got to have confidence in yourself, no matter what you look like and who you are. Right?
Two things. You got to be cocky and confident compared. This is for the younger listeners compared to cocky and arrogant. And if you can this is the one thing you got going that I want to learn, and I have to polish up my game. If you can make a woman laugh by being yourself, just make them laugh. They love that because they've heard every woman has heard every fucking line there is. I still hear this at the bar. I still hear guys say to the girls, "First time, it's the first time here. Come here often." Yeah. I'm like, oh my god, are you kidding me? Let me ask you this on that because we have a couple of subjects we're going to get to, and you get my stupid ass brain going. What's a new thing I'm seeing that concerns me? Because I know you and I are old school when it continue. I can't believe how many times I see first dates walk into a bar and the girl ends up paying for the date, or the guy looks at the check and says, and he itemizes it. You had the bacon wrapped shrimp and a diet soda, and I had the Stella Artois and the chicken pasta. And look on the girl's face is like,
are you kidding me? Yeah.
And I'll brag about this. I don't think I've ever, no, I know I haven't. I've never made a woman pay for a first date ever or second. You?
Wait, you're telling me that these guys go Dutch? They go, okay, you owe this and I owe that. I mean, or they're just itemizing it like, okay, just to make sure the bill's right.
Or the check comes, and you remember the Larry David episode in the first season where they went out that couple all the time? And the guy always went to the bathroom when the check came on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes.
They'll look at a guy they'll go to the bathroom, which is number one, red flag. Number two is the check will come. All right, this here. Make believe that's a check. That's a check. Okay, it'll come, and the guy's sitting like this.
Oh God!
Hey,
no.
Biz, did you see the Warriors tonight? They beat the Phoenix in double overtime, and she wants to get out of there. And all of a sudden, she'll just go for a Visa card, and I feel horrible. It's awkward, And this is something for the younger listeners that say to me, "What was it like when you grew up?" I just think it's something instilled in you. It's not being, the man's the man, the woman's the woman. I know women are independent nowadays, but if you're a guy, if you want a chance to get a second date or at least try and get a first one night stand or whatever, pay for the fucking check, buddy.
I totally agree. Now, some of these guys, they'll itemize, they'll make sure the check's right, this and that. You're not getting a good tip, right? Right away, you're getting fucked. Because if they're itemizing the check, they're not throwing you 30, 40%, right? What do they throw? What's the worst tip you ever got? Did somebody, probably some people have stiffed you before, right?
Yeah, well, everyone's gotten stiffed in any restaurant, any bar, but I have a great attitude. Whatever I get is more than I walked in with, And for every shit stiff, you got 10 people to take care of you. It's about volume. I don't care about that. As long as and this is the standard line, you gave the best service you can get, and the food got out there, and you're getting their drinks out there. I hate to use this line because it's a cliche, but at the end of the day, you did your job. If they don't tip you, I had a guy real quick. I was working at Oasis, I think back in the late 90s. And he's playing, I don't see him walk in, and he hits a $4,000 Royal, which is a taxable. You know what a taxable is? is that the government gets to fill out a slip, and you can't pay them the jackpot because they have to fill out a slip because it's taxed, right? The guy says to me, "Hey man, I didn't want to hit this $4,000. I didn't know I was playing dollars." I said, "Well, congratulations, you won $4,000." I'll make a long story short. He goes, "Well, I don't want it. I don't want it." I said, two things are going to happen. I'll call the gaming commission, and they'll be down here in 22 minutes, and they're going to rule against you, or they're going to say, hey, you know, the place will give you back the original buy-in, and the place keeps the jackpot. He goes, call gaming.
Wow.
25 minutes, guy walks in. He does the same scenario I just did, and the guy takes the jackpot, right? He tips me $1 on $4,000 because you get tipped off the machines. And he says, here, he goes, call, what was the line he gave me? Call your mom and tell her to get another business because guys like me, you'll never make a living. The guy, I've never seen the guy before. He leaves. He comes back in the bar and goes, who the fuck slashed my tires? Because the whole bar's watching us. I go, I don't know who the hell you are. None of these people know who the hell you are. You gave me a New York ID, right?
Yeah.
So he goes, well, you have a phone so I can call a tow truck? And I give him the $1 back. And I said, here, go to Walmart and get 4 quarters. Good luck. And the whole place.
Oh, that's great. Oh,
so sometimes you get redemption from idiots. Never see the guy again. But, you know, look, 95% of the time.
Let's break this down. The guy was pissed that you called the gaming commission. That's
he
why
told me to. He said,
no, but he didn't think you were really going to do it. Listen, fuck him. What a moron. You give you a couple hundred, whatever, and you call it a day. The guy walked in with nothing. He got $4,000. The government got their cut, and he walks out. He tips you. Everybody, you know, everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Listen,
blames me for getting his tires. I've never seen this guy. Never saw him since. So that's what I have for that one story. I got 100 stories. Brad comes in exactly. I want to say about exactly a year ago. Brad comes to Shucks. Brad,
don't tell my stories.
I've never seen. Well, no, it's a great story, and I hadn't seen you in a long time. And we're trying to put together this project.
The restraining order ended. Yes.
Well, I get there late. Said I'm a late, and of course Brad brings donuts. He's going to shoot this documentary, interview me about a bar that I worked at, Mom's Saloon, and every a server, a busser, and a bartender said, "Who's this guy?" I said, "Why?" He goes, "He walks in, he threw us a 20 right away," and I said, "He gets it, you know. Brad gets it," and that's, you know, there's a lot of people like you out there in this business, and that's why we do it. And look, you know, you being in the business, you manage strip clubs, you had people that were great tippers and people that weren't. But again, if I can give any advice, whatever you walk out with is more than you walked in with, and be grateful.
And I was there. I was a busser. I was a bartender. I was a waiter. And that 20 goes a long way because I needed them, you know. I needed them to be there if I needed them during the interview, and they deserved it. I mean, you know, you open up with the 20, man. That's how it goes. That's how we do it. If you have it, I'm grateful that I had it that day, and it was 2 days, buddy. We got some great stuff on you.
Well, it's not that. The reason why you had it because you came straight from the airport to Shucks. And you didn't hit a strip club first, or else I never would have saw you.
And also, you told me you were going to pick up my tab with all the food I ate.
I did.
I know. I'm saying you did. That's why I had the extra cash.
I went broke.
Of course. I heard the owners were all over you. What the fuck happened?
They said, when's Brad coming back so we could order more food from U.S. Foods? I tell you that story all the time. You ate more Philly cheesesteaks than people in Philadelphia that day.
Those wings were so good.
Food. The food right here. You know, when we finally get something going for this great production company, you know, somehow someone subscribes on YouTube and someone buys this thing. I love to cater everything. I'm going to kiss ass here, but I'm biased. It's the best food.
It is
on my side of town. Every bar on my side of town. Every bar has great food. They do. I've eaten in Timbers and Standard and Copper Keg and Distill. All great food. No one has Shucks' food because it's so diverse. Seafood's our concept, right, Brad? Try our nachos.
Yes.
I've had people that manage on the border, a Mexican restaurant not far from us, and say your nachos and tacos and your chicken tacos, your shrimp tacos are better than us. That's a testament to that joint, and I'm proud of it. And do I sound like I'm kissing? I don't have to kiss ass. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. Hey,
You
but
know,
I got a couple.
why don't you say something? Why don't you do something? Why don't you tell everybody that comes to Shucks, comes up to your bar and says, "Hey, I heard your podcast. You were great," and then buy them a drink and I'll pay for it.
No, we'll pay for it. We'll
Okay.
pay for it. Good.
But I'm
I
saying,
did that
let's
before.
get some
All right.
people who are
If you're
listening
coming
to our
Shucks Tavern,
podcast to Shucks, because I'm telling you, I've been to so many bars, restaurants, nightclubs. I have never had better service, better food, except the fucking bartender will not stop fucking talking. Jesus Christ.
who
This
was
guy.
that?
I don't know.
No,
Somebody
if you
must
come
have
into Shucks when I'm working, I'm there Wednesday through Saturday graveyard. Mention you saw this podcast. I'll buy you a drink. Okay.
That's great.
If Brad ever comes in while we're working, you got to buy him dinner. Okay.
By the way, I might be coming into town in about a month, and we're going to have some great stuff going because, of course, I'm going to come see you every night. But number two, I'm going to Wet Republic. It's on my bucket list of life, and I'm getting a cabana. You're going to be there with me, and I want you to witness the great Brad Grunny Grunberg, aka Sax, hit on women. What do you think? I'm a single guy. I'm single, ready to mingle by the Wet Republic pool. And of course, one of our guests, Vanessa Saros, works there. And damn, she's going to introduce me to some of her friends.
Let's recreate the movie Hitch with Will Smith, and I'm Will Smith, and you're Kevin James, and I'll guide you on what to say because I can only imagine the look on your face when a girl walks by and she's got the double 42s, the 700 cc's of silicone, the tight thong on, and you get like Mark Ratner was in the movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, don't talk about Fast Times. I love you.
I mean, I know you got a gift of gab, but you have that look on your face of complete. Do you remember the scene in Rudy? Jon Favreau, a good friend of yours, played one of his first films. He hired Rudy, Sean Astin's character, to meet girls. And Rudy walks up to a girl and goes, she goes, the girl walks up and goes, "Do I know you?" And his name was Debo. And he's like this. And goes, yeah, because he just was never, he had the biggest mouth on the planet, but when a good looking girl walked over, he went, creepy.
It's funny. I have a great Jon Favreau story.
Oh,
okay. Jon Favreau is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Just a regular guy's guy you can go drinking with. So I got a pilot with Disney called was Desert Desert Heat. And I played an Elvis impersonator who was I stole cars, and he was the star of it. So after the pilot, after my scenes, he walks me out to my car, and I say, "Hey man, it was so great working with you." He goes, "Damn!" And this is all about luck and timing. He goes, "I wish I met you 6 months ago, because I did a movie. I don't know how it's going to do. I would have put you in as my buddy. Oh my God. I just wish, Swingers. I know. Vince Vaughn made his career. And every time I see him, we laugh about it. I go, 6 months. If I would have met him and done the pilot. So
you would have been, remember that? You would have been money. You would have been money, buddy. Money. Yeah, Vince Vaughn, Ron Livingston got his start.
Ron Livingston,
great actor.
Yeah.
Oh my, it was so great. Just hitting the bars. Heather Graham, I got a huge crush on Heather Graham. I mean,
she was there.
She played Roller Girl in Boogie Nights, and I won't tell you the kind of, I'm like you when you see a girl when I watch that movie.
Yeah.
Heather
Graham, did you toss your salad in the bathroom at Shucks after you saw that movie?
Well, I saw a movie in 1997. No, I don't give away. I don't toss any salads that you could eat. All right. So food's precious in our life.
But isn't tossed salad? It's not jerking off, isn't it? Isn't something else? Isn't it the?
I don't know. You tell me. You do it more than I do. I have a wife.
I know. Somebody told me a friend of mine who was in prison said when you toss a salad, you don't want that. No, that's not good.
Hey, Fat Fish 17. Can't believe we've done 17 episodes. We're gonna have a guest next Monday. We're gonna chop it up because it's a holiday and we're celebrating July 4th. And God bless Jerry and Sandy Grunberg for having 3 wonderful kids and all those grandkids. When you have a family like yours, Brad, and you could still celebrate your parents, it's the greatest blessing on the planet. And I see your dad. And before I get into the Fat Fish 17, when I ask you questions, he's always jocular, which means he's always happy. He's always doing this. And I guarantee, and well, what's the one thing I saw a video? I didn't want to put it on there, but I saw, because it's kind of personal. And he said, every single person called me today. So that's great. Now, how many grandsons does he have? 4?
5.
5. No granddaughters, right?
Not yet.
Well, yeah, you're the next.
If I have a kid, or if I have a kid,
So
that
let me ask you this: he's got 5 grandsons. Be honest with me, 5 grandsons, 3 handsome kids, and Greg, Tiffany, yourself. Is Tiffany been spoiled because she's the only girl?
Tiffany is a really special person. She takes care of everybody, her family. She takes care of my mom and my dad. She is the salt of the earth. But yeah, I don't know about spoiled. She was the baby girl, so she's the youngest. So of course, probably.
Yeah, she's great. Every time I put something on Facebook, she likes it. You know,
I know she's.
If I put a plate of poop and a cup of pee on there, like it.
Yeah.
Way to go, Eric.
Yeah.
Hey, I got something for you, because you did so great with this. Because Brad's got the gift of improv, so I'll give him. And he's going to do this to me one time. So I write down these little questions, and let's.
By the way, do you have gel in your hair? Do you have gel in your hair today?
I have a little gel in my hair because it's puffing out, and then I start. It's 100 and it's 100 and right now it's 110 degrees out in Las Vegas.
Oh boy, so
I need this to keep the sweat.
Keep the sweat intact. Yeah, I like it. Okay, go ahead. What do you got? What do you got for me, baby?
All right. Are you one of these guys that's into holistic medicine, or you do take meds?
Meds.
Okay.
No holistic meds.
Okay. Me too.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
Yeah, give me. One
of the reasons is because Steve Jobs, I think, should still be with us. He went holistic when he got cancer, and he didn't go, traditional, or and he's no longer with us. So I think but I mean, I'm not down on holistic, but for me, meds. Yeah, I like what's happening today.
Do you need to get that? Is that Papa John's Pizza?
No. I think. Oh, Grubhub. Okay.
Yeah.
Wasn't me. Okay.
You're the only guy I know who calls in a to-go order somewhere. I know you by name. It could be anyone.
They know. They know me all
Cook
around
on Walk Chinese on Robertson. And
is this you, Grunny? Yeah. All right.
Hey, Grunny. We know. Yeah. It could be a new person answering the phone.
Yeah. You want the extra spicy mayo? Yeah.
Okay. Oh, God bless. Taylor Swift or Katy Perry? Ooh.
I love Taylor Swift because she's so nice. J.J. Abrams' daughter, Gracie Abrams, is opening for Taylor Swift on her world tour. Yes.
Good.
Gracie,
plug it out.
Oh, she's talented. And I just hear from everybody I talk to how nice Taylor is. But I like Katy Perry. She's funny. Katy Perry makes fun of herself a lot. When I watch her on Idol. That's tough. Probably both.
She's the only girl I know. She was pregnant on Idol, and I don't watch it. My wife watches because you got to watch this episode, and she's real uncomfortable. And who's a country guy in there? Luke Bryan.
Luke Bryan. Yeah.
Says, Katie, you okay? And she goes, I have to fart. And I just I love that because you don't hear about women. That's great.
That is, isn't it? And I love, and you love Lionel Richie. Who doesn't?
Oh God,
the Commodores, baby.
We're gonna see. The reason why Brad's coming to town before we get to these other subjects is that. One of the greatest moments in my podcasting life was Brad's very good friend with Tony Orlando. I'm a huge, and then I get a chance to meet the guy on the podcast and learn about his life and his dedication to the military. And you listen to him sing. I go right back to YouTube after the show, listen to Candida, Tire Yellow Ribbon on the Old Oak Tea. He's going to be in town at the South Point, I believe, August 3rd and 4th. And we're going to, between Wet Republic and Brad eating everything at Chuck's and going to strip clubs and getting Asian hookers, we're going to fit in Tony Orlando and Don with my wife and Brad.
Not in that order. Sorry, Tony. I think the Asian hookers are first. By the way, Tony is excited to see us. I called him just to secure the tickets. And we're going backstage, and we're doing the whole 9, not for you, but for Vicky.
Oh, because I think Vicky will take them. Vicky will just love everything about it. Love the podcast. Well, I bring up Tony Orlando because you brought up Lionel Richie, and there's a guy we both saw when we were younger, and they're still bringing it. You'll still bring it. Like Rickles brought it into his 90s. Look at Mel Brooks nowadays. I mean, Tony Bennett's incredible. I mean, it's nuts. It's crazy.
How about Dick Van Dyke, 90s, 99? How about Norman Lear, 100 years old? I mean,
God bless.
it's beautiful
God
that
bless.
people are
Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman's played
Morgan
every president of
Freeman.
the United States.
Love Morgan Freeman. Oh,
Yeah.
the best.
All right,
Yeah,
let's continue with this. I got a little dissertation I'm going to read to you and think you like it.
please
Are
don't.
you now? You have the luxury of this because you live in LA. Are you an ocean guy or are you a swimming pool?
Swimming pool, but I like to look at the ocean. You know, my dream, you know what I love to do? I love to go to Hawaii, the Kahala Hilton. It's now named something else, and go under an umbrella. I'm not a big sun guy, and I like to put my toes in the sand and have a Tito's pineapple and cranberry. That's my happy place, and that's
with
where
you.
all the stress goes away. And I just
I'm
look
with
at the palm trees and I look at the ocean. But look, do you really think for a minute that if I went in the ocean, I mean, every fucking animal in that ocean would be looking at me, salivating. The sharks, the whales, everything, the jellyfish, they go, look at this fucking piece of.
I disagree. I think
What?
if you go and there's an old line. You know, you know why sharks don't kill lawyers in the common courtesy. I think I think a whale or a shark sees you in there and they said, you know what, let Brad eat also. You know, but
yeah, I'm not a big ocean guy, but I love to look at the ocean.
Yeah, who doesn't? It's just so I miss it so much living out here.
Party tonight. I'm going to Malibu, by the way. I have a fraternity
take
brother.
Pics. Take pics.
Of course, I'll take some pics. But there's two parties that. Okay, so I'm excited to my buddy Jay Stein, greatest guy. He invited me to his Malibu party tonight. But I went to a party years ago, and this guy, he does, you know, who remained nameless. He hired Snoop Dogg to DJ. And how much do you think Snoop Dogg charges to DJ your party? It's different than if he sings his own songs. He just DJ old school 70s and 80s, 80s music. How much?
Six figures. Easy.
100 Gbos.
That's six figures. Yeah.
And I was just, my buddy wanted me to be security and have a good time. So I was on the side of the house when the manager was getting the cash, and this is hilarious. He's counting the fucking money, and he goes, "You stiff me 100." He had to count it again. Wait, you're getting 100 fucking Gbos, and you're worried about $100? It was crazy. I'm laughing.
Oh God!
I'm like, oh,
that must have been the same guy that stiffed me on the $4,000.
It's the same dude. He's his manager.
Hey, is it better to have sex on the first date? Or are you into the courtship? Stupid question. I have to ask you.
Depends on the person. Depends on the Asian hookers. First date.
That's a hooker. It's not a date. It's not a date with a hooker. You schmuck. Come on.
Wait, what?
It's not a date with a hooker. You're paying for it. Paying for it anyway.
I'm paying them to leave. That's what it's.
You know, I think we've all had one night stands, and I think if it's weird when I liked her, it was great. Everything tasted good and smelled good, and we had a great time. We went to the deli in the morning and had breakfast afterwards. But I think as a relationship builds up from that, it's like, how many guys has she been with, you know, on the first dates? Where a courtship is, she's making you wait for it. You know, that's my experience, and let's build something to get to know each other better. But you know, when I was younger, I didn't give a shit.
No, I agree with that, because if you meet somebody that's special, you're willing to wait. You know, you're willing to wait to the right time. I've talked to people. Oh, when you met your wife or you met your girlfriend, oh, she wouldn't give it up. We waited and on the seventh date, you know. I'm big into kissing. If somebody doesn't like kissing, that's definitely a red flag for me, because kissing is, I think, what it's all about, you know. But a lot of people don't like to kiss, and they're not really good at it. Are you a good kisser, Fish?
I think so. I like it too. I think it's the best part of foreplay. You could turn a girl on.
Yeah.
Time, if you know how to kiss. I mean, you've all had girls. You ever had to kiss a girl who's like Jabba the Hutt? And remember Jabba the
Hutt? God, yeah.
You know, but you know, it's essential. It's the one thing about being with whoever you're going to be with is the sensuality of the foreplay. That's a turn on. And you know, like I said, if we can get someone at Wet Republic to give you sensuality, you might miss the concert.
All right, let me set the scene for you. Wet Republic. I think we're going. Let's see, we're going to go. Oh, we're going Sunday. Sunday the 6th. Yeah,
6th. Okay.
So and all of a sudden you see me Mac dadding one hot looking girl. You're like, Grunny, what are you doing? I turn around. Can you leave me alone? I'm busy. Seriously, you could take you take some notes, man. I am
all right. 1980s
kisser.
1980s or right now?
80s.
Me too.
Simpler time, better time. I don't. You know what really bothers me, and I could talk about this: the bullying on social. People bullying people. You know, people are in the basement of their parents' house talking all kinds of smack, never showing their face. You know, and it really bothers me. And these young kids, I just, man, it really, you know, a lot of kids are, you know, they're taking their own lives. I have a dear friend that his daughter took her life because of the bullying, and it just, oh man, I just want to. I'm a big Will Smith fan, even though the slap, but I want to Will Smith a lot of people, because the bullying is unfair, and it's just terrible. It's terrible. That's why social media, you know, it's good in a lot of ways and bad in a lot more ways.
Yeah, Steve, you brought up Steve Jobs earlier, and he had his famous quote is, "I think I have the greatest invention ever. I also think I created a real bastard," because he saw, you know, humans throughout the human time, and I would get philosophical here. We're always at war with something. We're mean to each other, and you know, the great line in War of the Worlds, the original H.G. Wells, was that the reason why they came here is because they lost all the natural resources on their planet, and they studied us, and they couldn't believe we killed each other, so they're going to help us do it. You know, they just think we didn't deserve our planet because so many of us are so devious, and we see it now with what's going on in the Ukraine and Russia. You're right. 80s are now. I'll tell you what I liked about the 80s is that the people weren't as sensitive as they are now. You walked into a bar, maybe Mom's Saloon. I could say to Brad, "You want to do a VO7? You want to bump?" And I could put a line of Coke on the bar, and you go, and no one give a shit. All right. Wow. Back in the early 80s, a guy named Kenny Stabler, one of my favorite quarterbacks, my idols, one time, it's late 70s, early 80s. He's standing on the sideline. They're beating the Browns 38-0. He's got a Coors in one hand and a cigarette in the other, and no one cared. Now, if a guy did that now up 38-0, they crucify him. So, but what's great about now is that we can do podcasts, and that the fact that for you, there's an app called Tinder. Come on, if you're 60 years old back in 1980, you're in trouble, buddy. The LA Times classifieds is going to do you no good.
But wait a minute. But you know, LA Weekly, they had personal ads. I did an experiment. I went on LA Weekly and I put an ad in there, and I went on 92 dates, and I logged each and every date, and I still have it somewhere of what happened. And it's amazing. I'm still friends with some of the girls I went out with. And also there was something called the Jewish Journal that was, you know, young, handsome Jews looking for other Jewish ladies.
Oh, yeah. Let me jump in on that. Yeah, I probably went there. You know what? A lot of Rob Lowe did this. A lot of people. Was it Rob Lowe who told me this? It was an actor that came into Moms. The Stephen Wise Temple up on Mulholland.
That's my temple. That's my temple.
Remember they had a Jewish dance night?
Yes.
And all the guys
hip-hop
would go with all the guys that weren't Jewish would go to that dance because there's beautiful Jewish girls there.
I know.
You know, and they all figured. And I just thought that was a fun. I went to that dance. That was a lot of fun. I went there a couple times in the 80s.
I went a couple times. Yeah, that's my temple. Rabbi Zeldin, November 5th, 1977, baby. Don't mess with me, baby. Oh man, that's my bar mitzvah day. I became a man, but there was a problem. I'm more spiritual. I've told the story many times, but so you meet the rabbi a week before you have your bar mitzvah, and Rabbi Zeldin, Bradley, congratulations, 8 years of Hebrew school. Next Saturday, you're going to be a man. Thank you, Rabbi Zeldin. I read your speech. It was very funny. I liked it. Thank you, sir. 1 week, next week, I'm in my 3-piece Pierre Cardin suit from Saks Fifth Avenue, looking good. I'm up there on the dais with my dad and looking out. There's my grandma, my friends, my cousins. Oh, best day of my life. And the rabbi comes in last. I'm the first bar mitzvah, 10 a.m., Stephen S. Wise Temple. And he comes up on the dais. He bows to my dad. He looks at me. He looks at the cantor, and he leans down. He goes, "What's his kid's name again?" I swear to God, I heard that, and my dad looks at him and goes, "You want me to get your name right on the check, right?" He goes, "I have a lot of bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs." Then have a fucking cheat sheet, motherfucker. Oh man, so I'm more spiritual than religious from that day. You know?
What about nowadays? As far as two more, two more.
Jesus. A heartfelt story, and then you're on to the next. Okay.
Well, because some of these subjects that we talk about is what we experience as younger people, and now it's so easy because of this, because of the computers and social media and the apps. Everything's apps right now. Are you into writing letters still, or are you into email?
I am into email, but if something is very special, a special event or a special person, I might get out the old, pad of paper and a pen and jot down a note and send it on, or a card, a thank you card or that kind of thing. But usually email. Yeah.
I'm guilty. I used to love to write letters. I can't tell you the last time I mailed a letter to someone, because it's so easy to go on their email and you're saying the same things you want to say in the letter.
Right.
I think it's a lost art. I think it's more sincere if you take the time to write a letter, put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it, and go to a mailbox and do it. The last one.
Yeah, it's funny you say it. My dear friend, Dave Linden, I think you met him. He lives in Vegas, an incredible guy, better than you, of course. And he writes cards, and he wrote my dad this heartwarming card for his 91st birthday. My dad had tears in his eyes. I think there's a lost art of sending cards and really putting the pen to paper. We got to bring that back in some way.
Okay. Last one. And this refers to the deuce. Public restrooms, or do you hold it in?
Oh gosh, that's great. My buddy always said, I will never leave the house until I put the kids in the pool. Okay. That's my buddy Mike Nathan. They call him Nate. That. He goes, I drop the kids in the pool before I go to work. I love that, right? Thank you, Nate. That's a good question. I do all my business at home, or I hold it in. But if I have to, I shit right in my pants. Yeah. That's
Chuck's
funny.
Tavern has the cleanest restroom. Chuck's Tavern, and this is how this is how you could judge a restaurant. Is how clean it when you walk in. Go to the restrooms real quick. If there's shit everywhere and there's paper towels and crap in the toilet, get out of there. Chuck's Tavern has the cleanest restroom. And they're so on it, these busters, and kudos to these guys. They'll come in. The first thing they say to me is, Fish, we took a look. I'm big on the restrooms, right? The restrooms are great. There's times that they had to use it. But the one thing you hate when I have to use it, because you got to go, is you pull out those ass gaskets, I used to call them. I used to call them the campaign hats for politicians. When you put it on the bowl, how many times you put on the bowl and you're pulling your pants down and the toilet automatically flushes and pulls it in, It happens all the time. Because my big fear is sitting on that toilet. I've always told about my mom, rest in peace, Roberta, miss you. She says, if you use a public restroom, honey, put paper down on it. Don't sit in that toilet. You can catch something. I go, Mom, the women I've been with, if I haven't caught anything before I got married, but she was dead. So I hate? Go ahead.
You know what I hate, Fish? I hate when I put the gasket down, and as we get older, our ball sack goes into the water. You know how this is. The ball sack hits the water, and you're like, my mom just looked at me and walked by. Mom, the ball sack goes in the water, and it's very uncomfortable. But I agree. It's like Kramer on Seinfeld. You got to see the bathrooms. They're immaculate. I mean, you judge a place or a hotel by the bathrooms. Or when you go into your room in a hotel, like in Vegas, I go check out the bathroom right away to see how clean. And there's another thing. Whenever I see the housekeeping, I always give them a 20 to say thank you. And they always put extra towels for me, or make sure it's extra clean, because I'm going to be living in that room. I'm not telling anybody where I'm staying. I'm kind of like a rock star. People will come to that hotel when I'm in town in August, and they'll try to see me, meet me, or maybe take my picture of me putting my ball sack in the water. Oh,
that's funny.
That's a good call. It's true. The ball sack.
That's never happened to me yet.
Oh,
I want to tell you something. I want to leave you with this, because I wrote something called Something Fishy, because I have a problem with the bastardization of the English language. I think we have a serious issue with connotation. So I'm going to read something to you I wrote, and I'm not in the Writers Guild, so I won't get in trouble, but I want your take on this.
Okay.
For example, Brad, let me finish. You don't take a shit. You leave a shit. Where are you taking it? Need it to go box? When you say, I don't give a shit, of course you don't. Who are you giving it to? We're going to wrap it up in a Louis Vuitton fancy gift bag? Oh, look, the McDonald's for their wedding, they're registered over at Beth and Beyond. Let's go online and give them a gift basket of shit. You don't do that. Then we have bullshit, we have horse shit, and we have chicken shit. How is horse shit any different from chicken shit and bullshit? I don't understand. But the most perplexing usage of the word shit is in the restaurant business, when a server or bartender asks a customer, and you've done this, hey, how is your spicy rigatoni? And the customer looks at you and goes, this dish is the shit. There's not a culture on this planet that eats shit, or a restaurant that has shit on the menu item. Now, there's more examples of how the word shit is used in subtext. Quote, up shit creek. No, not the wonderful comedy on Netflix, but an actual creek where the water is flowing with shit. I don't think so. Also, I'm up to here with this shit. Shit if I know. Eat shit and die. Same shit every day. I'm scared shitless. Talking shit. Look at this shit. I'm sure your audience has many other monikers of shit. Brad, we have to sort this out. You're more learned than I am. You have a lot of sources. You write. You're in a guild. You are on scripts all the time. Because to be brutally honest with you, I've had enough of this shit.
Wow. That's great, man. That's great. Well, I can say one thing. Fat Fish number 17 is in the books, and this was the fucking shit today. I'm Brad Grundy Grunberg, aka Snacks, and that is Eric Fish Snyder. We'll see you on number 18 next Monday. Have a great week. Have a safe 4th. Thanks, Fish.
And happy birthday to Jerry and Neil. And may your ball sack not land in the water, goddammit. Have a happy 4th. Brad, I love you.
You too, buddy. I'll see you soon.
Bet Republic and Tony Orlando can't come soon enough.